Hello. Okay, I'm live. So welcome to the stream. Whoever's in the chat already. Hey, VFX. Hello. Thank you. Welcome. Hope you're doing well and prepared for the session. Oh, this was a terrible day today. I did a bit of work. Worked on several projects. And then Clip Studio Paint crashed, which has actually never happened before so far. And since I'm very sloppy with saving, I lost a bit of work. Hey Chris, how you doing? I hope you're well. Yes, more monsters. I was just talking about it. I did a bit of work today and worked on the comic page, which I almost finished, and I started to scribble a couple of creatures, filled the page, the first page, and then Clip Studio Paint crashed for the first time. Luckily, it saves a bit of work, so you see it says restore, but yeah, I lost a bit of work, unfortunately. So I worked on the comic page, the one from a former stream, and this was almost done, so unfortunately I have to do this second panel again, which is a shame. I was so happy that I've done it. And I lost maybe half the page of these creatures. Anyway, shit happens, and yeah, whatever. So, yeah, Chris, thank you. I'm fine so far. You know, beside this, I'm okay. Just sorry to hear that. Quick artist. Well, yeah, I wish I was quick. Actually, I feel I'm a very slow artist. And when I go live, I'm even slower. When I talk and, you know. But that doesn't matter. It's not about speed. At least not in the stream or when I work on personal projects. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, so I'm thinking about what to do today. Oh yeah, so for those who have been in the chat last week, no, on Tuesday, so this is the final creature. At least I stopped here. And maybe you remember the last thing I did was I added a figure. But I took it away at the end. Thank you, VFX. Thank you so much. I think I still have the version with the figure, but I felt that adding a figure, at least a detailed figure, it takes away the attention from the creature itself. And since it was about creature design, yeah, I actually liked the version without a figure way more. Even though I think what I could have done was maybe add a figure just for scale, you know. Maybe, you know, like just a small figure. I don't know. Standing here, and so now you get an impression of the scale of the creature, right? So that makes sense, but I added a very detailed figure, which I thought was, yeah, taking away the attention. VFX, do you work as freelance? Yes, I do. Well, as far as my working background, I worked for many years in the automotive industry, so I was basically a concept designer for automotive interiors. Not so much design, very technical orientated, but I did some design work as well. And I did this for many years. So I drew a lot of door panels, instrument panels and stuff like that. But beside my professional work, well, I shouldn't say professional. Well, beside this work for the automotive industry, I worked as a freelance, well, concept designer or concept artist, as often as possible. So I did some work for film projects, not a lot, just a few, which was great, which was a great experience. And I did illustrations and cover artwork, yeah, things like that. But as well, you know, I was originally educated as a graphic design artist, but my goal was never to work for, you know, in the field of advertising. So, but I did a lot of graphic stuff as well, you know, like layouts and logo design and things like that. Yeah, but for the most time I worked for the automotive industry, and then I switched, you know, later in this career I switched to management and stopped drawing completely. So for many years I was project leader for automotive projects and some other industries. And just, I'd say 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, I decided to spend more time on drawing again, because that's actually what I love to do. And so I've been drawing, not every day since then, but almost, besides some breaks. Hearing new stuff, said Chris. Oh, yeah, I thought I talked about the history already, but yeah, that's basically where I come from. So I did a lot of concept work for automotive companies, for suppliers, engineering companies, but as well for manufacturers, for Audi and a little bit for BMW and some Mercedes-Benz stuff. But to be honest, well, I think design work, or styling, as some say in other countries, you know, if you say design in Germany, it's actually styling. So if you work on styling projects, I think that's of course pretty cool. But if you do technical concepts like I've done for most of my time, it gets pretty boring after a while, and I did this for many years. And artistically, I'd say it got me nowhere. VFX asked, you don't teach, do you? No. I don't, not yet. At least not as profession. Is that a word? As a profession? As a professional teacher? No. I did some mentorship for others, but only here and there if anyone asks me. Of course I help. Chris said, yeah, you looked at your co-workers who do tech design. Yes. You know, at the beginning, I really loved this job. It was great to get paid to do drawings and sketches, and a bit of design work. But over the years, you know, they cut the hours dramatically. Everything had to be finished faster and cheaper, and they were not really looking for new ideas. Instead, they asked to recook old ideas, and yeah, so no big challenges, and you had to do, you know, concepts in a shorter time. And so after hundreds of door panels, you know, it started to become boring to me, to be honest. There were still great projects. So in the last couple of years, I've been working for a company that designed motorhomes, which was quite interesting. And we worked on a project which was like a motorhome for, I don't know, how a motorhome could look in 20 years. It was an autonomous driving vehicle and very stylish and very futuristic. And we built this thing using VR, which was pretty cool. That was interesting. Chris says, after 1.5 years, they have doubled my hours. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, when I say they cut the hours, it was mostly customers from first-tier suppliers. You know, they when they try to get a new project, you know, they have to come up with a concept for a new vehicle. And I remember we worked for 10, 12, 16 weeks on such a concept. But since manufacturers cut the hours for first-tier suppliers for concept work, they cut the hours for their concept designers, and I was a freelancer, so they start to cut my hours as well. And instead of working for 12 weeks, sometimes they asked me on Friday to finish something for Monday, And at that time I started to think about, if that's really what I want. And actually the answer was no. Yeah, and then it took me a different path. I was asked to work on a small film project, which was an animated movie, but a full-length movie. And I worked on the trailer for this movie. So my job was to do some character art and environment art and help to define the look of the movie. That was an awesome experience. That was pretty cool. So I worked in a team with 3D artists, which was a new experience to me as well, because before I was almost always working on my own. It was not a team. It was just me plus a couple of engineers who helped me to develop ideas, or they came up with ideas and I put it on paper, or the other way around. And that's, I think, why it didn't take me, or it didn't help me artistically. So when I started, I used all the skills that I had, and when I left, I got a little better in quick sketches, but I developed just a little, and this changed as soon as I started to work with others, with other artists. That was really an accelerator, to get in touch with other artists and exchange ideas and see what they do. That was pretty cool. So, again, I'm not sure what I do today, but that's I think I've started to look at this one. So that's the one I did on Tuesday, and this is a new one. Which started just like these thumbnails or little sketches of creatures. And my plan was to finish this today, but I couldn't resist to, I just kept working and sketching, and so it's almost done. What's your inspiration for drawing those creatures? Well, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I love creatures. I love scary creatures. Well, since there's no script or anything or any reason at all to draw these creatures here, So I just chose to draw creatures. But when it comes to inspiration, I'm not looking at reference that much, at least not in the first part of the creation, let's call it like that. I usually start with simple sketches like these here, even looser. You know, I start with a couple of lines, and as soon as I put the first lines on paper, it starts, you know, it creates an image in my head. And it starts to develop. And I change things on the fly and create things on the fly. And sometimes I look for reference, you know, especially if, for example, like this creature here in the left top corner. You know, it might happen that I look at reference, I don't know, of lions if I think I'm yeah, it might look a little bit like a lion or a huge cat or whatever. So to get an idea of the anatomy, I look at reference, probably. You know. Yeah, but that's how I usually start. And sometimes it's a surprise to me, the way these sketches evolve. So very often I have no idea what I will end up with. And that's actually what why these little thumbnails, well, the one you see on the screen right now, I took them a little further than thumbnails. Thumbnails are pretty loose, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the concept or the idea of thumbnails. That's how, or it's very common that concept artists start with thumbnails, especially when the task is, let's say, to design a creature or character, even a vehicle, or whatever element. You would probably not do a thumbnail, or yeah, you can do thumbnails when it's about environments too. But anyway, let's say you have to draw a creature or a character. Instead of starting with a full-size illustration, you just create ideas, very quick ideas. You create these thumbnails or even just silhouettes. And lots of them, you know, you fill page after page, and the more you do, at least for a while, the better they get. And you end up with a collection of ideas, and then you pick the ones you like most and maybe blow them up, scale them up to, or increase the resolution, and you do a second pass. And the cool thing is, the looser you get, so you create shapes or contours or silhouettes, and the looser you get, you can actually use one thumbnail and create 10 other new from the same thumbnail, you know, by doing a second pass, just by using the contour or the silhouette. So especially in creature design and character design, silhouettes are actually a good way to start. And the human eye is very good to see things in silhouettes that you actually didn't draw. That's the great thing about silhouettes. So like, for example, I could easily, let me do it. So this creature here, if I select the whole creature, and now we have a silhouette. And even though there's no detail right now, you still, your eyes can still identify a creature. And now you can start to add details or shapes. And you can use the same silhouette and maybe create 10 different creatures out of it. You know, for example, now that I look at it, it could be a side view, you know, like this could be the head. And maybe, you know, the body, maybe here's the rear feet. And now it's a different creature. Getting a lesson. Oh, well. Well, even though I'm learning myself a lot every day, but you know, if you take away something, if that helps, I'm happy. But I think you notice how fast your eye picks up something in this silhouette. You know, even though, look, this is a completely different creature. And that's a very common thing to do when you start to design something. I mean, you don't have to, but you might start with an illustration immediately, and you might end up with great design. But it's worth to do this stuff before, you know, do, I don't know, 20, 50 little thumbnails. It works for vehicles very well. Characters, especially these silhouettes, they work for characters and creatures. And even if you draw environments, if you want to design environments, you would start with very small thumbnails, very loose, and just adding a horizon line and I don't know, whatever it is. And I don't know, maybe a building. And these thumbnails, you can do lots of them in an hour. And if you like one, you scale it up and start to detail whatever you see in it. Chris says, yeah, we're always learning. I'm a teacher and still do. It's beautiful that art doesn't have a limit when it comes to knowledge. Yeah, totally agree. That's the beauty of art. And I don't think you will ever reach the point or the moment to say, now I know it all, right? And VFX says, also, I work on the VFX field and I feel everything is connected, so it's really interesting. Oh, yes, it is. Again, I totally agree. I think the core thing, or one of the core rules, and I believe that's in 3D or VFX or art or concept art or whatever it is. And even in if you do a technical concept, you don't start with details. First you look at it, very loose and very rough, and you start maybe not in the concept, in a technical concept, you don't start small, but kind of. But you start you start very small and rough and loose, right? And that's where you create your ideas. And then you go to the bigger picture and detailed and I don't know, clean, whatever. And in a technical concept, I think it's almost similar. It would probably look like this, So first you create a lot of ideas, and they are not very detailed, just a lot of ideas, and you look at the whole thing, and then you narrow it down to one detailed concept, But first you keep it loose. You create a lot of ideas, and then you maybe look at them, at the ideas again, and the ones you like you pick, and then there might be questions, how things work, if you really want to follow this idea, and then you detail it a little bit, and before you probably start with 3D work, So in this case, this is loose and this is detailed. And I believe the same you do in VFX, right? So I don't know in what field or sorry, what projects you work on, but if I imagine you do VFX for TV shows or movies, and maybe you, I don't know, let's say there's a house and it's on fire. You would not start to define every single flame at the beginning. You will probably start very rough and think about the composition in general, or things like that, before you start to detail every single bit, I guess. Yeah, you're right. VFX, it's all the same. It all follows some kind or somehow same rules. And I think it applies to, I really think it applies to many things, not even in work, You could say it applies to life. When you start your career, let's say you start your career, and if you focus on, well, is that a good example? Yeah, probably. You might keep some doors open, and you start to think about your career and have a broad view on what options you have, and before you focus on one thing. If excess, and we also work with a lot of different materials from different areas. So for me, it's important to understand the way the rest of the pipeline works. Yeah, that's a good point, of course. That's always a good thing, right? Since you work in a team, I think it's a good thing to understand the needs of others in the pipeline, and you don't want to make their work and life too complicated, right? So for example, if you do creature design, and you might want to think about the features of the creature. Let's say the next in the pipeline is a 3D artist who has to rig and animate the creature. So you really want to think about your design and what problems it might cause for the 3D artist. That's a very good point, I think. how concept artists bring to life something, how it evolves. Yes. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I'm always fascinated. I mean, it's great to see the end result. Yeah, it might be impressive, but to me, it's even more impressive to see the process, and how bits and pieces come together. That's really a cool thing. So, in what field are you working, VFX? Now I'm curious. And you see, it doesn't really work. Talking and scribbling. So, anyway. VFX compositor. Awesome. So may I ask you, are you working with the Unreal Engine, for example, or what is your tool? Nuke. Oh yeah. Believe it or not, I was just thinking about, I couldn't remember the name, but I remember, for a very long time, I used to read a magazine called Digital Production, I think it was, and it was all about, camera equipment, 3D software, and usually there were many making of stories. It was really interesting, great magazine, but ridiculously expensive. And I think that's where the first time I read about Nuke, and I think it was at that time, I think it was about the movie War of the Worlds, something like that. I believe, yeah. Or is there another software? Is it all called Bruce? No, I think it was Nuke. That's cool. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I worked a little bit with After Effects. I'm not really experienced, but I did a couple of things. And I really like it. And I'm absolutely blown away with, experts can do stuff like that. Yeah, I believe so. That even After Effects is used in big productions, right? And do you think that? Well, I believe that Nuke is a very specific tool. Do you think that tools like Unreal might take away a little bit of this work? Niam. Hello. Welcome to the chat. I think I read your name for the first time, right? Yeah. You should consider setting up a booth at Fantasy Basel to showcase your art. Well, first of all, thank you. Sounds like a compliment. I should read about it. Is it a big convention in Basel? Oh, okay. The Comic-Con. So are you from Switzerland, Niam? Yes. So, greetings to Switzerland. Nice to have you here. VFX. No, I don't think so. Every tool has its use depending on the situation. You might want to use Unreal and then work that material on Nuke. Oh yeah, I see. So there's no all-round solution, which I think is good. Okay, let's call this yeah, so hey Niam, you haven't missed anything so far, just to let you know. We were talking and talking and talking, and I just did some scribbles beside. Because as I said, I feel like everything is connected. Yeah. Oh, that was the wrong button. And even though I believe it's a very dangerous topic to talk about, so this is especially for VFX. So AI is a huge topic, you know, and people are super panicking about it. And there's this new tool, I think it's called, what is it, Soul or SOLE? Not sure. You know, which creates movie of clips of, I don't know, 60 seconds or whatever, based on a couple of prompts. And I've seen some examples, you know, that went viral on the internet. Some were actually quite okay. Most of them, I think, were crap. But it's just the beginning, I guess. So take this with a bit of salt when I say crap. It's probably still impressive that there is technology that can do this based on a couple of prompts. But since you are you're working in this field, I don't think it will take away work from professionals. The same I think about, you know, image creation with AI. I think it's a bad thing for people who, in specific areas, and I really hope that the hype will end one day, because it's not as useful as some might think. I still believe it could be a great tool for professionals, you know, when it comes to create ideas and whatever, beside the ethical a component, of course, you know. Yes. Yeah, so Refik says it will replace things in the future. It already did. We're using computers with applications and so on. I do not think it will make artists disappear like many say. Yeah, I agree. Yes, it will change. For sure it will change the way we will work in many fields. But I totally agree that it will not replace artists or human as many fear. I don't think so. Yeah, but it's a great discussion, isn't it? it might automate some things, yes, but the eye of the human is what makes movies. Yeah, again, I can only agree. And I'm pretty sure that it's humans who tell stories people can connect to. I'm not sure if AIs will be able to do that. And as well, and I think I heard an artist talking about it. He was thinking about that AI will not get better at some point, because we will reach a situation where AI uses stuff created by AI, which would be interesting. But yeah, and if I look at images created by AI, I mean, there are some amazing things created by AI that probably you would never come up with. So it can be a great inspiration. But even that takes a lot of work. You know, it's not that you just add or type in a prompt and that's what AI is throwing out. So there's a lot of work behind it, actually, to get to a good result or to something unique. Most of the stuff I don't feel, or I feel, you know, I can't connect to. There are some tasks like chroma keys where we take the green off and the backgrounds and replace with something or erase something we don't want. It will automate that for sure, but that's not the only thing we compositors do. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. It will, as many tools already do, you know, they might be, yeah, some handy tools. And remember how much work it was in, you know, the old days, let's say, to get rid of the background, you know. If you wanted to do it good, it was a lot of work. So I think that a lot of people are actually happy that there are tools that do this, and they do it very well, you know. This year, I will be working, giving classes with my professors as an assistant in the institute I studied. And I know there's a new thing that will teach AI, so it will be learning new stuff, and I will let you know. Excellent. Yeah, let me know. Very interested in it. Also, I need to learn so I don't fall behind because programs like Nuke, After Effects, Houdini, among many others, update many times each year, introducing new stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, technology changes so fast. It's not like you learn some craftsmanship and that's it, and you're done, you know, for the rest of your life. No. Hmm. So it's a bit of a disaster this year. With the layoffs, there isn't a lot of work in some areas. So why is that? Or is there, are there a specific reason? I'm probably not up to date. So from July 14th to November, the American Actor Union was on strike. Oh, yeah. Over labor dispute with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. It's the longest strike in history. Its combined impact. The Writers Guild, yeah, I read about that. Strike resulted in the loss of 45,000 jobs. Wow. Oh, wow. I read about the writers' strike, which started quite a while ago already, right? But I have to admit, that stopped movie production, so many on the pipeline lost jobs. Yeah, I see. But would you say, yeah, Fix, that it was actually time for writers and, you know, people working in the film industry to take some action because of the circumstances they work under? Yeah. Yes. I I think that the writers' strike was directly connected to AI, right? Yes, as well actors. I see. I remember since 3D started to become really, really good, and some were already saying that there will be a time where you don't need an actor anymore because you can create an actor in 3D just using his face or whatever. And they're still discussing these options. And some say, well, why not? But they should pay the actor for using his face. Of course, they do. They should. If that will ever happen, this is how it should be. But then again, I think it will probably take away so much of the film industry, and we already see the impact of computer generated stuff. I'd say it's not necessarily increasing the quality in general of what is offered in the cinemas. Some stuff is really good, and it wouldn't be possible to do it without computer graphics. But you still need a good story and something people can connect to. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I silently decided to do some thumb sketches. Not really thumb sketches, but, some rough sketches. Unfortunately, I can't remember all the creatures that I've done before Clip Studio crashed. So I have to come up with something new. It's a very good advice. And good point. Yes. Yes, I should. Um, it's the first thing that I tell others, when they work on this stuff. I tell them, make it a habit to hit Control S, I think it is. Yeah. I think I switched it off because I was working on a huge file. In Clip Studio, it takes some time when it does savings, you know, automatic savings, and sometimes the screen goes dark, and then it takes a while and comes back. And that was a little bit annoying. But not as annoying as losing work. That's for sure. And as I said, it never happened again. It never happened before. I'm actually quite happy with Clip Studio Paint's stability. I think it was worse a couple of months or years ago. And the only thing I did, I think I rotated the image, and pang, it was gone. Oh, the music stopped. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's. I still wasn't able to put a playlist together. I I actually subscribed to a great platform, which is called Epidemic Sounds, because I found it pretty hard to find royalty-free music that provides some quality music. And yeah, then I found this platform, and it's pretty cool. It's not super expensive. Because I use it for just Twitch and YouTube. So, but I think you can subscribe and use it for up to, I don't know, unlimited platforms if you wish. But I think then it's getting expensive, and it offers a huge library of good quality music. Yeah, and I love this music too, this kind of music. But this is just a rough playlist I put together. And I've used it in all the streams so far, so before everyone gets bored, I have to put some stuff together. And I listen to this music even when I draw for myself, you know. Yeah, it's exactly. It helps to focus. Not all type of music, but definitely this type. That looks a bit strange, but kind of like it. It's a lovely creature. By the way, is it just me, or is the image on Twitch, the stream, is it very blurry? I'm just looking at it and... Or maybe it's just me. Okay. Thank you. What's the time? 12 o'clock. So, how is it called? Fantasy Basel. Niam. Well, if you're still in the chat. So, you mentioned the Fantasy Basel event. Is this an event currently taking place, or is it taking place every year? Ah, here you are. It's every year in May. Oh, okay. I should check this out. And it's so have you been there? Is it specifically for illustrators or comic artists? I'm probably asking dumb questions, but yeah, I never heard about the fantasy con in Basel, to be honest. Been there twice so far. There's a lot of small comic artists and artists in general, also bigger names. Lots of actors who talk on stage, for example. Actors from Game of Thrones or Harry Potter. Wow. So it's a pretty big thing, yeah? That's really cool. And it's just a nice convention that everybody gets a chance to present their art. Oh, cosplay. That's pretty. Cosplay of Gandalf. Oh yeah. Thank you. Oh well, yeah, I should think about that. Gandalf the White or Gandalf the Grey? Yes, sure. Oh well, wait, if that's possible. I think I have to give permission, probably. Let me see. I believe so. Is that right? Give me a second. I think there was an option to allow links in the chat. Where is it? Or maybe you can try and see how that works. Yeah, would you do that? Oh, okay. I will see it anyway. That's cool. Otherwise, oh, already. Otherwise, you know, there's, I think it's in info, there's a suggestion box. Maybe you can type it down there. Or if you switch to the YouTube channel where this stream is live as well, a channel I just started, you can leave a comment there. Yeah, but I'm sure I will find it anyway. Yeah, I will do that. Fantasy Bowser. Thank you. Thank you, Niam. Do I? On YouTube. Okay. I might, even though I'm so bad with names. Or did he use a different name than Neon12? Because I don't know, I feel I read this name for the first time. Oh, now I see. Yes, of course, Flanders. I remember that name. That's right. You've been here on Tuesday, right? And I remember that. Oh, okay. That's funny. Excellent. VFX. Yeah. Tea is great. I think I will. Maybe that's just the perfect time to have a short break, because I think I need a fresh coffee. Is that okay for you? And I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, that would be great. Hope to see you here in a couple of minutes. What's the time? It's 12:20. Yeah, I think 10 minutes. Okay. All right. I just switch off the screen, but I keep the music running. Okay. See you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. You have eggs, you have your tea. Awesome. I have my coffee. Well, a lot of milk, foam plus coffee. And some healthy drink. Okay. So it took a few minutes more. Oh, this healthy drink is, it looks like juice, but it's actually a huge list of ingredients like micronutrients and vitamins, and you just add one big spoon of it to a glass of water, and it provides you with everything you need for a day. Everything that food no longer provides you with. And you drink one in the morning and one in the evening. And I have to admit, it makes a huge difference. The link, let me just check it. One moment. So did you put it into the chat of the video, or so did you put it into or anywhere else? Let me see. In the chats. No, I'm sorry, I don't think so. I can't see it. Okay. You commented on one of the former streams. Or maybe it will appear later, I guess. Probably. Yeah, have a great night, and thanks for joining the stream. Always great to have you here. Yeah, and have a great weekend, just in case we will not talk before, and hope to see you next week. It will be nice. Yeah, have a good time. And thanks for the link and the idea. Really appreciate it. I will definitely check it out. Yes, we're fixed. That's right. And now I can't remember if you... Did you say you speak German as well? Or at least a little bit? Do I remember right? No? Yes, I'm... Oh, okay. It might have been Niam, I think. He's from Switzerland. Yes, I'm actually I'm German. So thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I speak English. Well, You know, I've been working for a British company for quite a while, so and I was forced to speak English. And yeah, sometimes I think I even picked, well, some of the English or British melody, you know. Some British accents. I still have to speak a lot, you know, to get better. So sometimes when I haven't used my English for a while, I forget a lot of things. But yeah, thank you. Where do you come from? I mean, I think you said, well, you live in the US, right? From Argentina. Oh. Trying to get out. Okay. So is it for about work or the current situation in Argentina, if I may ask? So I'm aware of you know, when Europeans hear about, you know, someone coming from Argentina, sometimes they think, wow, you know, that's great, and what a beautiful country. But it might be not that easy. I see. Well, then I hope for the best and that you get there. Yeah, I guess so. I know it sounds like a phrase, you know, that you can actually manage to do, you know, what you wish to do or get what you want to get. Not saying it's easy, but if you, I think, if you take it serious and do what's necessary, you know, you can make it happen. Yes, for sure. I totally agree. My country, Germany. Well, as you just said, you know, I believe there's no place in the world right now where, well, life is different in all these places, but it's not. I don't think there's a place where life is easy. And same applies to Germany. And well, the economy, well, it suffered in the last couple of years for many reasons. Yeah, it's hard to say. I still think that, but that applies to many countries in Europe. You know, I like yeah, in some way I like being here because I love the culture, you know. that I like yeah, it's about culture and architecture and art, and there's a lot of great stuff you find here in Europe that you would not find anywhere else. Which I really like. It has a lot to offer, but on the other hand, I would probably agree to what you said, or the same probably applies to me. You know, sometimes I feel I don't really fit. I don't know, maybe it's an artist thing, but sometimes people tell me, you know, I'm not typical German, which is probably true. Even though I don't really know what typical German actually means. That's a good question. Hard to explain. Of course, we have all sorts of people here, as you will find in every place in the world. But when people think about Germany, they think about, you know, they're always in time. Always very well organized. You know, in these regards, I'm probably not as typical as one would expect. I'm a world citizen, you know. Earth citizen, exactly. Yeah, thanks for correcting me. It's so funny sometimes. You know, I have friends from all over the world, and you know, from Arab countries and US and South America and all over Europe. And sometimes, you know, people tell me that my Arab friends are more German than I am. But well, just leave it like that. Because everyone says I represent X country, but what are you when you don't feel like that? Yes, exactly, an Earth citizen. And I believe that's not a bad thing. I think every country has something to offer. All people have something to offer, and wherever you go, you learn stuff, and that's a great thing, I believe. And of course, it's great that you find specific qualities or ways of life, different ways of life all over the world. I think that has some value too. And there's so much I appreciate from what I've learned from others and other countries. Including Germany. So, yeah, there are good things and there are bad things, as anywhere else, I think. Okay, let's call this little creature done. It reminds me of a creature. I think I unintentionally copied it. A whale with feet, right? It reminds me of a creature I was thinking about it during the break. There's an older movie, and I think it was Carter. Maybe I have to Google it. And there was a dog-like creature with 6 feet, which I think I somewhat copied. At least a bit of it. The number of feet. Anyway, I think the movie was quite funny. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, it's pretty old. It must be 15 years old or something. I think it was Carter. A very funny mix of, I don't know, it started as a Western. And turned into a science fiction fantasy movie. Yeah, I think it's almost 15 years old. I think it was titled Carter. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Carter. Well, I just Googled it. There's another movie called Carter. Oh no, John Carter. Yeah, it's called John Carter. And it was released in 2012, so it's almost 12 years old. Exactly, yeah. And I really like that dog, so I think I just copied it, which was not intentionally. And I think the dog in the movie looked cuter. As far as I remember. But yeah, I've seen this movie just once, so 12 years ago. I might watch it again. Okay, let's call this one done. Thank you. You're right. You see, that's what happens when you save the image in Clip Studio Paint. All goes dark. Yeah, but I think I have to add a proper name. It's still called Illustrations and it's restored. So I think wait. Okay. Right title. So, thank you very much. That was a good hint. My name. Like, oh, Olaf. Olaf. Yeah. Why do you think it's badass? It's actually it's an old name from North Europe. I think it's like an, you know, from the region. Yeah, right. They got a good name for a Viking, and I think it's an old name from the north of Europe, like Norway or Sweden, and it's an old Viking king's name. Or is it Nordish god's name? I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, Vikings are pretty cool, right? I like them too. So since I was a kid, I actually liked all about Vikings. Yeah, maybe I do. I just recently, at least not long ago, just a couple of months ago, I bought um, an art book. I think it was Assassin's Creed, but you know, the Viking Assassin's Creed story, and the art book is really, really great. Lots of beautiful Valhalla, exactly. Thank you. And the art book is awesome. It's really filled with beautiful art and great concepts, and the character designs are just amazing. Specifically one artist I really loved, and of course I can't remember the name. Maybe I'll tell you in the next stream, or maybe I pick the book and I go through a couple of pages. Okay, maybe I do another one or two creatures. What's the time? Oh, 15 minutes. Or maybe one. What happened with subject 3? Subject 3. Well, this grumpy looking thing. Yeah, let me see. This one. Oh yeah, he's, you know, he's in a bad mood, this guy. In a really, really bad mood. Oh yeah, it's unfinished. You know, actually I was going to do just some thumbnails, you know, and they are usually not finished. They should just well, let's say you take them to level with a couple of shapes and to fix an idea, and then you leave it like that. And that's why you could actually do, I don't know, one sketch in between 2 and 5 minutes, you know, and fill pages. But I think at some point I started to go into detail already, like number 8 or number 6, which I shouldn't, because my plan was to fill pages with thumbnails and just quick ideas. And so you can leave these thumbnails even looser than subject 3. You know, like number 2, it's super loose, or number 1. Yes, I like number 8 too. And you know, when you fill pages with these sketches, let's say 1 hour every day, you can end up with, I don't know, 50 or 100 little sketches. And whenever you have to create a creature or a character or whatever it is, or vehicle, then you can go back to your collection of thumbnails and just pick some that you like, and you scale them up and add a second path and go into detail. I do these just for joy right now. Well, the stream today is pretty much unplanned. Actually, yesterday I planned to do this sketch, which I started exactly like all the other creatures. But I took it to this level already yesterday, or this afternoon. And so I thought there's no point to add more details in this stream, and then I wanted to finish this page here. Oh, you see, so this second panel, I have to add inks. And it was almost done this afternoon, but then, as I said, Clip Studio Paint crashed and this work was gone. So I still have to finish it. And also this page of creature thumbnails, this page was almost filled, but I lost half of the work because of the crash. And yeah, so you're basically making your own library. Yes, exactly. That's what you do with thumbnails. And you know, you can do this in your sketchbook that you might carry around. You know, whenever you find time, you can do little doodles and fix ideas. And it's super, super quick. And you end up with a library of ideas, right? Without investing more than a couple of minutes. You know, And the looser, the better, actually. So if I do little thumbs like, I don't know, like this, whatever that is, looks like a sleeping dog. Maybe add some horns. I don't know. So this is a really bad example. But anyway, you can leave it like that, you know. Yeah, that's definitely a sleeping dog. But whatever, I can turn it into a creature in a minute. So that's not a great concept, you know, to draw a sleeping dog, but well, it could be. Maybe one day you need one and you will find it among your thumbnails. But that's the purpose of thumbs, you know. You keep them very loose and have a creative hour and you end up with a library, right? So now it's I turned the sleeping dog into a spooky, sneaking cat. Or a deer. Well, strange deer, but whatever it is, you get the point, right? Yeah, exactly. And so now, just to make it totally ridiculous, I add a rabbit tail. Yeah, and you can leave it like this. And you see it took, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. And the more you do, the better. And they get better the more you do, you know. You just warm up with a couple of thumbnails and then you will see they will get better. And you can do this with characters too. You know, you can start with simple shapes. Like this, maybe, or silhouettes. And stuff like this takes even less time, you know, maybe. These are super loose, but if you scale them up to, let's see, they double or triple or whatever times the size, turn them into silhouettes, maybe. You know, yeah, you have a library of ideas. That's very common. A professor. Oh, thank you. That's a great compliment. Not sure about it, but thank you anyway. Play games. Well, I haven't for a long time. But yeah, I wouldn't call me a gamer though. But I played a couple of shooters, and you know, I'm part of the generation that actually experienced the appearance of Doom. So that was actually a great moment when I played Doom for the first time. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I remember I played Doom like hell I couldn't get enough of it. It was such an amazing experience. Yeah, and then the whole gaming world changed. So what's your favorite game then? Or is there a favorite game or a specific genre you like? I totally understand that. That's right. Elden Ring. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't play it, but I've seen the art book just a couple of days ago. Exactly, yeah, the art is awesome. Really beautiful. Yes. So, did you like is it Lost Souls or Dark Souls? It's Lost Souls, right? Dark Souls, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, right. There are three. Well, I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of artwork, which I really liked, and I bought one art book, a very small one. I think it was part of a special edition of the game. But it was pretty small, and I sold it. I usually never sell art books that I buy and that I like, but this one was really, really small, and I want to get the proper art books. And I found someone who was very happy about it. There are so many and so unique. Yeah. Even though there's one thing, I'm not sure, maybe you agree or disagree. I feel like what sometimes turned me off was that some games that have a linear gameplay, they look beautiful you know, the art is extraordinary, but you play it and you're done in 10 hours. And, you know, I remember how hard it was years ago, you know, to reach the next level in a game, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you really admire the artwork, you know, then you would probably not just rush through the game, you know. You can look around and really value the details. But for gamers, I don't know. I'm not that much of a gamer, but and maybe they really appreciate the artwork. I don't know. I should ask a couple of gamers. Yeah, exactly. I think so. It depends on the players. Yeah, I hope so. That more people appreciate the art than I probably think. Because, as you said, you know, there's so much work in it and so much, you know, love and creativity and I mean, if you look at art books, you know, that's the proof of how much work actually goes into a game. So much research and yes, yeah, same here. Just a while ago, I heard someone talking about, and he's an artist too, but I can't remember his name right now. But he plays games as well, and he said that sometimes he pauses the game just to find the time to look around, you know, and he said sometimes he finds himself just, you know, freezed in stun mode because of the beautiful art around him, you know, which you would miss if you just rush through levels or environments. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And some games are just, you know, made um, to make you crazy, because of the gameplay, you know. These games want you to rush and run and, you know, otherwise you die. They're still great, but the main focus is not so much on the environment. It's more level based, and which is okay too. Yes, it has two wings. Kind of wings. That's right. I'm not yet sure what kind of creature this is. Looks funny. Maybe it has one eye. Or maybe many eyes. Oh, I think I like the one eye idea. What do you think? And maybe... yeah, I think that's the craziest creature on this page. This has a lot of teeth and spikes and wings, but just one eye. I still like the sleeping cat dog, deer, rabbit. But I think this is my favorite. I like this one. And I kind of like this one. And I also like number 6. So that's number 9. No, it's number 10. You like number 2, the spider thing. It looks like a wasp without wings, actually, or well, whatever it is. Or maybe a mosquito without wings. Yeah, spider wasp. Maybe I add wings. Let's see. No. Maybe. Now it looks like a usual mosquito. Well, we'll see. But it's worth to keep it. But I also like this Crumpy guy. Yeah, thank you so much. But well, I think I will not do one more, even though there is some space left for one more. No, I think I'm happy with subject 11, and yes, you're right. I have to save it. Here we go. Black. Yeah. Thank you so much. So with your help, it will become a habit. It remembers me to one of the worst moments in my life. I was using a software called Painter, and I really liked the software. It was a cool tool. I'm not even sure if it's still around, but some concept artists used it too. So I was playing around with it for a while, and I was working on a really complex illustration. And at this time, it was even worse in regards of saving. And I discovered a little button in the lower right corner in this software. I never noticed it before, and I was just thinking by myself, oh, what does this button do? I never used it. And I pressed it, and the whole thing crashed, and it was gone. Everything was gone. I still don't know what this button was for. It was just maybe the developers just forgot to delete it, but it just closed the whole software. So that was a crazy, crazy experience. And I can tell you, I was sitting there, you know, staring to my screen. I couldn't believe it. And I probably even lost some tears. Yes, I lost a lot of work, like the work of the day. So it didn't happen to me for a long time. So today was really the first time for a long period that I lost work because I didn't save anything. And usually I, you know, as I said, usually it saves automatically every, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. But today was different. So, Clip Studio over Photoshop. No, I wouldn't say so. Not really. I'm not that, but I think both programs have their strength. You know, I love Photoshop, and I use it since, well, I can say decades. And if I had to choose, I would still choose Photoshop. Because it offers a lot more than, at least to me, it feels so. It feels like it. But the stuff that I do right now here, so the brushes feel way more natural in Clip Studio Paint. I don't know why, because it's still, you know, a digital tool and it's just a brush. And I use my Wacom tablet, which I use in Photoshop and in Clip Studio. So there's no difference, you know, but it still feels kind of more natural. But I can do a lot more in Photoshop. Things that I really appreciate, and that I find harder to do in Clip Studio Paint. And for example, well, if I do a colored sketch or illustration, depending on the style, I would choose Clip Studio Paint if it's more painterly. If I go for some sort of classic comic style, or maybe concept art of a character, maybe I would do the sketch in Clip Studio Paint, and for coloring I would switch to Photoshop. Yeah, I think I will I will definitely do one colored illustration. Ooh. Maybe one of the creatures. So right now I'm working on 2 comic projects, and this is one of them. And as you see, I do the layout and sketching and inking in Clip Studio Paint. But for coloring, I will switch to Photoshop because I will use flat colors and then do some shading. But the other project I'm working on, the other comic project, it has a different style, which is very painterly. I'm not sure if you did see it before. Yes, yeah, that's this specifically is actually a funny project because I didn't start with a script or a concept or an idea. I just started to draw a couple of panels. I was more practicing. And then it turned into a project, and now I decided that I keep it unscripted and I try to do 1 page every week, but in a time frame of 1 day or 24 hours, even if I stretch it over a couple of days, which I usually do. So every week I think about the next page. I look at the older page and then start to draw the next page without thinking what might happen afterwards. So that's a quite funny project. The other one is a story that a friend of mine wrote. He's a science fiction author, so he writes novels. And we met 2 years ago, I think. And after a couple of weeks, we had a conversation, and it turned out that I was very interested in working on a comic, and he was looking for someone to turn one of his stories into a comic, or any story. So he wrote a script of one of his short stories, and based on this script, I'm working on a graphic novel. And I'll show you an example. And you will see that this is a very different style. Okay, let me see. So this is 1 page of the other project. Oh, sorry. And you see, this is a very painterly style. There's no line work or inking involved. I actually treat every panel like a canvas. I did an initial sketch, then a second path in a more detailed sketch, and then I just paint on top of it, you know. And I do this in Clip Studio Paint because I use well, mainly the gouache brush. I really love that. So there are some pages in red. These are flashback pages. So the main character remembers his past, and yeah, and if I focus or zoom in, you see it's, oh, wait. Yeah, and for this work, I really prefer Clip Studio Paint. The other project, as I said, I would do the line work and inking in Clip Studio Paint, but for coloring, I would switch to Photoshop. So I really think both have definitely have a right to exist, you know, and they share some strength, but they also have their own advantages. Okay, yeah, and maybe I will do some coloring live on these pages, I think. Not so much for the other book. I don't want to spoil too many pages. Yeah, but this one, definitely. Okay. FX, I think. Jesus. It wasn't very productive today. Well, at least I did a couple of sketches. Thank you so much, and it was my pleasure, for sure. It's good fun. So thank you again for jumping in today. And on Tuesday was the first time, right? Your first time that you hopped into the chat, right? You're welcome. Absolutely welcome. I'm happy to share and or answer questions or whatever. And well, we all have a good time here. Thank you so much. All right, so hope to see you next week if you want. Yeah, that would be great. Really appreciate that. And you have a great weekend. And yeah, let me know what happened over the weekend. Good night, VFX. See you next week. Bye. and by everyone else who's in the stream still. Thank you. Goodbye.